I come to you with a very important message. I want you to delete the word beginner from your vocabulary, okay? This is very important, okay? What I have found recently is that the word beginner is not a useful word, okay? What matters is whether or not you can do the thing, okay? I don't care if you just started. I don't care if it's 10 years down the line. Beginner is not a useful word, okay? Are you hearing me? Okay, let me explain. So recently, I just moved to Berlin and I just got approved to be like a freelancer in August, at the beginning of August. And it's now, so it was like a month ago. And a couple weeks ago, I found my first model casting call on Instagram. Found it on a Monday. Tuesday was the casting call. Wednesday was the show. Okay, are you with me? At the casting call on Tuesday, they cast me for 3 shows, including the one that was the next day. Okay, and while I was modeling for those shows, they ended up asking me to model for 3 more shows because it was like a multi-day event. So now, 1 casting call, and now in the next 2 weeks I had 6 shows. And in that time I went to 2 other castings. I think I didn't get one, and then the other one was for a student show, which I just did yesterday, so I did get that one. And when I tell you, so many models, because a lot of the models, not all of them, I wouldn't even say a majority, but a lot of the models that I was modeling with, it's their first time ever on a runway. And so they would look to me, because I have a modeling Instagram, and it has all the shows that I did like before I moved here, which I started modeling in 2022. I think I did 1 show that year, and then I did a couple shows 2023, and then 2024 I did like lots of shows, and now it's 2025. Anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, okay, so anyway, I thought in my mind, I was still in some ways a beginner. But I have all my stuff on my Instagram. And so when they saw my Instagram, they're like, oh my God, you are an experienced model. I need to get advice and tips from you. And so they'd message me or they'd talk to me in person and be like, I'm new, like, please give me advice, give me tips. How do I do what you're doing? And at first I was like, oh, this is very endearing. I think I do have tips to give them. Let me give them some tips. And then I started getting confused. I'm like, okay, I'm getting so many questions. And even like a girl who has an agency, because this whole time I don't have an agency. I've just been getting booked with shows on my own, which also I've been paid for a total of 2 or 3 shows. So all of that is unpaid, but people don't know that. When they see the photos, all they see is the photos, which is important. We might come back to later, or I might forget. So let's put a pin in that. Okay. So these girls are messaging me, asking me how they can do more of this. I'm confused because I'm like, girl, we're in the same show. What do you mean? Whatever you did to get booked for this show, do that again. That's all I did. That's all I'm doing. I don't know. What do you want from me? Because I realized, so there was, in those 6 shows that I got booked, a lot of them were very experienced models. And so when I see them, I thought, oh, great. I must be doing something right because we're in the same room. We're in the same show. So if I just keep going, I think I'm on the right track. But I think for some reason, when you're locked into this beginner mindset, these girls are like, oh, I am not model. And this girl, me, is model. And so I must do something different. And she has the answer. She can tell me. Whereas I'm like, no one has a crown that they're bestowing upon you and telling you now you're a model. And that doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a beginner. What matters is you're in the show and you're doing it. Boom, you're a model. I don't know what you want from me. But people are looking for, like, they have this, it's part of their identity that they're a beginner. And so they must not be, like, there must be something missing. Whereas, like, a lot of the girls that I talk to, I'm like, you are fantastic. Like, your walk is amazing. You have a great look. Just keep going. Like, I don't have any tips for your walk. Your walk is great. You don't need improvement. And that's the thing I think people get caught in, is like, okay, I need to, like, work on my walk. I need to work on my posing. But in reality, like, there's, like, a minimum viable skill level. Like, if you were booked, then girl, you're good. Like, I think you will naturally progress and naturally get better the more shows you do. But what I've been realizing is, like, the difference between having a not like a perfect walk, or like really like supermodel amazing walk, and like just a walk that's fine, that does the job. The difference between those feels like it's very important, but it actually is not. The way I see it is that difference is never gonna stop me from getting booked. If you pass like a minimum viable threshold, and you are also like very easy to work with and like punctual and responsible and like overall do a good job, you don't need to be great, you don't need to be perfect. Like, I would say that the majority of models, like the majority of things that are happening is not like supermodel level. So like the level, like if you got booked once, then great. Like, have some confidence, go out there and try it again. But I would try to tell these girls this. I'm like, your walk is great, your posing is great. Like, just keep trying. And they're like, I know I need to work on my posing. I'm like, I didn't say that. Okay, so yeah, I think I explained everything I want to do with that. We'll see. So then there was also, I went to one of those 6 shows. There was a lot of photographers there, and I connected with a lot of them on Instagram. And one of them messaged me and said, hey, if you have any more events around Berlin, let me know. I'll come and photograph it for free. So I messaged him about my show yesterday, and he came, and his photos were amazing. Like, they're great. And afterwards I thanked him for coming, and he was like, I know there's lots of professional photographers that you'll get photos from. I just did my best. I'm like, I wouldn't have known that you're not a pro, that you're only a beginner, unless you said that. And it's just not relevant. It's not relevant. You don't need to minimize your work by saying you're a beginner. All people see is your work. Let your work speak for itself. And that brings me to, when I was in college, I minored in graphic design, and something that my design professor said, or like a rule she had, always stuck with me, that when we presented our designs to the class for critique, she asked us to not give disclaimers. And that was very hard, because oftentimes it was in the middle of a project, and maybe we had like, this is like, it's literally not finished yet, and here we are presenting it to the world for critique. Of course you're gonna want to be like, okay, I know it's not great yet, or I know it's bad, but here's what I'm gonna try to do. And she would ask us to not do that and just let the work speak for itself. Like, let the critiquers critique. And it doesn't have to, like, we all know it's a work in progress. You don't have to disclaim it, just let it speak for itself. And like, there's a lot of, it takes a lot of strength to do that, but it also like really, it's really beneficial as an artist to just like let your work speak for itself. Because, you know, in that situation, sure, maybe it is like not quite there yet, but you don't want to get stuck in that mindset forever of like, oh, it's imperfect, so like I have to minimize it in order to like protect myself from some kind of critique. Which also, okay, this is coming up, I'm not really great at having well, wow, I'm doing it right now. Imagine, okay, great. So this is, all right, this is my style of making videos. I don't have very polished videos, and I was just making excuses for that. Wow. Okay, where was I going with that? Shoot, design. I might have lost it. That was really fascinating though. So I still do it sometimes. But I'm not gonna let it stand in my way. Ooh, like I'm still gonna post this anyway. And there's something really healing about that, about, you know, finding your work imperfect and yet still letting people see it. Oh, I was gonna talk about celebrity runway walks, and then also, oh shoot, I lost it again. Celebrity runway walks. Okay, I'll just talk about that. So one example of like shielding yourself from critique is sometimes when celebrities get asked to be in a runway show, they will, instead of doing like a serious runway walk, they will kind of like do and like be very unserious about it, which there's no problem with this, but sometimes they can look quite silly because they, like, if they were to, it's safer to kind of take it not seriously, because if they were to try a serious model walk, then they would be subjected to critiques with that. Whereas if they take it not seriously, I don't know. I don't actually know if that fits into this theme, but it came up, so I said it. I forget if I... I have interesting things to say about that. I'm not sure if I said them this time. But, oh, okay, I remember the other thing. So, back to the... Yeah, well, we got a theme here. It's delete the word beginner from your vocabulary. So recently, I've started learning Swedish and German, and previously I have learned Chinese and Korean. So I really like learning languages, and this time, yeah, learning Swedish and German. And I was stuck in this mindset of like, I'm a beginner in these two languages. And like, I kept getting frustrated by this sense of like, I want to just pick up a book and read it. Like, I'm so sick of not being able to read. I just want to pick up a book and read it. And I kept having this desire. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I just want to pick up a book and read it. And so I picked up a book and I started reading it. I don't know how to describe this to you, because it sounds crazy of like, okay, I'm just a beginner. I'm just picking up a random book and starting to read it. But when I tell you I was able to read it, like, of course there's tons, like maybe a majority of it I can't read. But if I just like actually like try and read it and ignore the stuff that I don't know, but not getting stuck in that sense of like, I'm sure I don't know all of this, or like, I'm a beginner so I can't read any of this. If I let go of that, then I can sit there and actually like try and get the gist of the story, which I usually was able to do. And then also like, I'm able to read more of it because I'm giving myself the chance to. I wasn't stuck in like, I'm a beginner so I can't do that. Like, that doesn't matter. All that matters is if you can or if you can't. And I have a tweet that's like, fuck potential. Can you get out there and do it, or can't you? Like, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner. It doesn't matter if you're new to this. What matters is if you can get out there and do it. And that's why I think you should delete the word beginner from your vocabulary. Okay, thanks for watching if you did. Bye.